JT Foxx, world's #1 wealth coach and underdog millionaire here in the Barnyard. JT, welcome.
Thank you. Well, in Rand is billionaire. So
Billion, that's what I was like, billion.
Dollars, yeah. Rand, yes. So I like when I come here, I could say I'm a billionaire, but in America, not yet.
And then underdog millionaire. Underdog. Why do you call yourself underdog?
Well, underdog, the definition of underdog is against all odds. I mean, which I think I started 10 years ago with negative, negative 10,000 Rand, and then I built that to, what my net worth is today. And, you have to fight constantly, and, you come here to this country and they say you're not going to make it because you're this.
Oh, yeah.
Then you make it, and then there's other problems and challenges. So I think South Africa is the ultimate underdog. There's the BRICS conference right now, and South Africa's trying to create more jobs, encourage more small business, which is what this is all about. So at the end of the day, I think even when you're successful, I think Elon Musk is an underdog. I mean, everybody,
of course,
the most shorted stock in the world is Tesla, and so even though he's worth $22 billion US, $22 billion. He's still the underdog. So I think that's what it is. It's not easy for anybody. So I think we're all underdogs of life. And I think once we become too comfortable, I think that's when it goes down. So I think, I think South Africa versus America, or South Africa versus China, South Africa versus Russia is the underdog.
Yeah.
And because you have to continuously fight. Maybe South Africa is not the underdog versus Botswana, let's say.
Of course.
But I think in the end, we're all underdogs. Because we're all fighting to be the best version of ourselves.
And that's where your love relationship with South Africa comes from, I suppose, as well. Because I went to your mega speaker event on Tuesday, and I could see it was quite evident you have a big love relationship with South Africa. When other speakers run away after one event, you keep on coming back.
Well, it's 5 years, so hundreds of times. So I've come back. It was a lot of people. I mean, I expected 500, and over 1,100 people showed, and people were waiting outside at 10 o'clock still around the corner. And the fact that I could still maintain that type of presence after 5 years, I think that shows a dedication. But of course, in any realization, you have people love you and people that hate you. And usually people that don't like you are the ones that really don't like the reflection of themselves. So it's a lot easier to point the finger at somebody else. Everything I've done in this country, I've probably done more in this country than probably any other international person. And I'm probably the only person in the world who talks about how great South Africa is. I don't know who else talks about how great this country is. We talk about Nelson Mandela, but that's once a year around July 18th. Yeah. But I think the vision that Madiba had and has had, and the how there was all this enthusiasm, I think that's gone. So new heroes need to step up. I don't think Elon Musk gives South Africa much credit, especially if you read his latest book. Charlize was here last week, but I think people probably see Charlize more as an American Hollywood than that. So, who are the new heroes, models, and mentors? And so people need to know how great it is. I tell people it's easier to do business in South Africa than it is in America, but everybody thinks it's not good here because I think there's an I can't mentality. I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, as opposed to I can. So you're either a South Africa can't or a South Africa can. So I choose the can. So it can be done.
You believe in South Africa. A lot of South Africans are actually business people, or at this point they are negative. They are worried about the future. But it's also a trait we see worldwide.
Everyone's negative about where they live. The only place that you're probably not negative and you're not allowed to is Russia, or else they're going to do something to you. But other than that, Americans are negative about Trump. UK are negative about Theresa May and Brexit. They were negative 5 years ago, and they're still negative today. So, it's not going to change. I read the Business Day. We always talk about the same thing. We talk about the Rand. We talk about fences. We talk about the Guptas. We talk about Eskom losing money. We talk about load shedding. We talk about not having water. And if there's one problem, there's another problem that comes out. So the problems are the same everywhere. So every country has its problems. So the grass is not greener on the other side. I assure you.
Unless it's fake.
Pardon me?
Unless it's fake. Grass.
There's a lot of fake news. I think I don't think the media has I think if it bleeds, it leads. Whether people like Trump or not. This Russia thing is crazy, but people, they like it. They like conspiracy and they like talking, and it's not moving America forward, it's holding America back. In the UK with Brexit, pass, not pass, yes it passed, but undo it. It's just all this unnecessary drama. at the end of the day, I think we need to focus on the end result. The end result is create jobs and promote small entrepreneurs, small business. That's the backbone. I've said this many times. Mining is not going to save South Africa. The manufacturing is never really going to come here because people don't want to. There's so many strikes and there's not that work ethic that there's too much risk for people to come here. Or if you buy land and you put a factory, are you going to lose it? These are uncertain times that creates, why would I come here? I like it here. I think Santon is more evolved than anybody else. I think just this interview, the people in this country are no different than anywhere else I go in the world. I do business in 45 countries, 6 more in the next 30 days. New countries I'm going to be added, places like Israel, Hong Kong, Turkey, Slovenia, Hungary, just among others. And everywhere's the same. I don't see any difference as well. But it is negative here, but Europeans are very negative too. Someone asked me, what's the difference between South Africans, Europeans, Australians, and Americans? Everyone in South Africa thinks everything is a scam and nothing is going to work.
Oh, yeah.
Americans believe everything. So we get burnt a lot more, but I'd rather get burned and had gone for it than being negative not doing it. Now, there's a middle of the road, of course, that we have to adapt. But that's why I have one of the biggest conferences in the world. I tell people, South Africans, go there, realize how great you are, and then once you're in America and amongst the world's most successful people, you realize you're no different, and then you come here. I had a lunch with Ivo Ivokovic from Paramount, and the guy started his own defense company right after the apartheid at the age of 23 with no money. I mean, who starts a defense company? It's not like you started building jets and armory and tanks and I mean, at 23, and now it's the 4th largest defense company in the world, privately held. Yeah. And he's very optimistic about this country. So Patrice Motsepe is optimistic about South Africa. Robert Gumede is optimistic about South Africa. Cyril is optimistic about. So I know all these people. So we're all optimistic, and so of course there are challenges, but
wealth creation. Do young entrepreneurs really know the meaning of wealth, creating wealth, or are they just becoming part of business to get money, to actually just to survive?
No, nobody starts a business just to survive because the business is hard. So I think everyone starts a business to ultimately get wealthy or live the life that you want. If people just want to make money, they can have a job. Now you might argue that there's this discrepancy in the youth market and in the unemployment, but a lot of the youth are very concerned about the apartheid, which is ironically because none of them lived through it. And so as opposed to you have some older people who moved on about what Madiba wanted. So I think it's not easy, obviously, being younger and starting a business, but work ethic eliminates fear. John F. Kennedy said best, and I'm going to put a little South Africa spin, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. That's the point. Anybody expects South Africa to do anybody for anything, or any government for that matter of fact, that's communism, right? I mean, whether you put Cyril or you put Patrice as president or you have anybody, it can only change a little bit because the person on top, like America, Trump doesn't have that much power in the scheme of things because everything has to go Congress. Cyril can only do so much because you still have the infrastructure of the ANC. So, and the underlining things that are not there. It's not like Cyril can say, okay, this is the way it is. It doesn't work that way. It's not. Then that would be like a dictatorship, and then we complain that one person has too much power. So, I think a lot of people like pointing the fingers, and there's 3 fingers pointing back at them. I know what I've done. I tell people it's easier to make money here than it is America. I know what I've done for this country. Again, the fact that I have come back in all week, whether it was Cape Town, Durban, and Joburg, and then tomorrow I speak with Robert, 5,000 people. So this economy is work ethic eliminates fear, and you just have to push. And when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll change your world and you'll change this economy. But the future is small business. We just got to create more entrepreneurs. But the problem with the youth is we tell them, go start a business. We don't tell them how, we don't tell them what.
True.
So that's another problem as well. But entrepreneurship is kind of, you do it and then you figure it out along the way. There's no school. You can't really go to school for entrepreneurship. So.
Where does entrepreneurship start? And when is the right time to start a business? That's one of the most questions we are getting from our youth.
I mean, you start. Whether you're selling, lemonade and you're 14, or you have a paper route, or entrepreneur, there's no age. You just solve a problem and you find a solution. I think school is a giant waste of time. I went to school. Most people tell you Jobs, Gates, and Zuckerberg all dropped out of school. But we need that diploma as a safety net.
That's true.
In case something doesn't work out. But school doesn't teach us anything. It's like brokers or estate agents. They're taught the law. They're not taught about how to run a business, how to grow a business, and that's why they have to go to places like your chambers and to network and build a relationship. I mean, at the end of the day, it takes one person, one deal, one opportunity, and there's a lot of like-minded individuals, and that's where they need to start. And I had a conference that was free. 6,000 people signed up, and 1,100 people showed up. I mean, there's over 5,000 people who signed up and didn't show. This was a free event with the world's #1 wealth and business coach, the highest paid man on the planet. I've got 59 companies and brand. You can come learn from me. It was no money. You didn't show up, so it's on you. So that's, if you're born broke, it's not your fault. If you die broke, it's 100% your fault.
And then when is it too late? Can it be too late? We all have our own stories, circumstances, and everything. Can it ever be too late?
No, of course not. My coach is 90 years old, and he was Trump's right-hand man and celebrity apprentice judge. He has more energy than me. It's never too late. I mean, first of all, the average South African, I believe, lives till the age of 82. So it's not too late. I think if you love what you do and the art of business game, you don't retire. The definition of retirement is to remove oneself from useful service. So I don't care if you're 80 or you're 12, you can start a business. That's not that hard.
And then another question, the summit's happening at the moment, the BRICS summit in Santon, and also China just loaned us 3.5 billion. Is it 3.5 billion?
Is that rand or dollars?
No.
Wow, that's gonna pay for what? So.
But to Eskom, but what's your take on that?
I mean,
is it good, bad?
No, but China is very smart. They did the same thing in America. They lent a lot of money, and once they owe a lot of money, they own you. So, and then they own you, and then they'll probably say, I lend you money, but I want this contract, that contract, send those resources first. I mean, if I'm China, it's a smart move. I'm South Africa. Well, who else is lending money to South Africa? And that's the problem, is that South Africa is not open for business. They say it's open for business, but I don't think it's open for business. There's still a lot of unresolved issues. Getting money out of the country is one of them. Also, too, I do believe the standard of BE and hiring level 1, 2, 3, 4, it confuses the hell out of people. I think business is about having the best person, not based on the color of their skin. I don't care if people are black or white. For me, it's about putting the best person. I don't understand why. I mean, the law's in place. It's like the law's there. I mean, so you work with what the law is. But I think that probably creates more dissension and more racial tension, because white people have this mentality that they are losing because they're not getting the right job, which I don't think that's the case. Just like, they think BE is some kind of credit card that every black person is getting rich off. It's not the case. Many will say that BE contracts, number one, if it's a great contract, they'll lose it because of corruption the next year, or they're not getting paid. So many of my clients that are black have made it without BE. But there's this notion, this thing, and then obviously black thinks that white people have all the opportunities and they've taken advantage for all these 400 plus years, and it's time to step up and to have their time. That doesn't promote growth. I think that provides racial divide. I'm absolutely sure that if we went to Madiba and asked them those questions, the Rainbow Nation is not one color over another. It's all colors are the same, despite what the past. You can't change it. I don't think it's going to repeat it. And I think America just took over some laws that had made it easier for minorities to be able to get into schools like Harvard, Yale, and it just got taken out because then it created some tension. I think it has to be the best person for the best position. So it creates a lot of confusion. But it's there, and if it's there, you got to work around it and you got to work through it. So until they change the law, then that's what the law is. And black people didn't come up with BE. Someone came up with BE, and that's what it is. So you can't get mad at them. I mean, if there was WEE, white empowerment, economic empowerment, I use that. It's nothing like that. People got all upset, just like saying if I buy this company and I get a tax credit, then I'm going to do it. So I'm not going to apologize to them. I
No.
don't think black people should pay us. That's what it is there. You know,
the benefits.
of course, it's a benefit here. I mean, there's all kinds of benefits as well, but BE is not as great as everybody says it is. I've been around 5 years and I have enough clients to know that that's the case as well. You know what I mean? But also, too, I think BE is empowered people to get these contracts, and then they get the money and they spend it on all stuff that's not relative, and then they don't have the next money because I don't think they've been educated on how to take that money and how to grow. You know, it's not easy being black in this country. It's not easy being white. It's not easy being anything in this country. So you just got to be yourself and do what it is to do. But when I've come to South Africa, I don't look at people as white, black, or brown. I see one color. I see everybody the same. And Patrice Mossepi said the same thing at my event. I really don't see people any different. And I've never treated black, white, or brown any different in this country as well. So I'm definitely not racist at all. I hold everybody accountable, no matter male, female, or the color of their skin.
Politics is playing a huge role currently worldwide.
Always has.
What's happening in America?
Well, I mean, listen. If 46% of people voted for Donald Trump, and it means if 46% of the people like you are going to be president, so not even a majority. But I think. And 100% of the people who did not vote for Donald Trump do not like Donald Trump. 92% of the people who voted for Donald Trump like Donald Trump. So I think that's a situation. I personally think you have the economy who's doing really well in America. I think he's done a lot of great stuff as well. I know him personally, so I come from an experience of knowing him personally. I don't agree with everything, but that's the type of person. I'm not a person who agrees with everybody or disagrees with everybody. There are things I like and I grade, and there are other things that I may not necessarily agree with it as well. But the problem with people who don't like him, nothing he does. I mean, at the end of the day, he's the only world leader that got North Korea to the table. And then they said he was going to cause nuclear holocaust by calling him Little Rocket Man, which I probably wouldn't call somebody Little Rocket Man. It's not like that's very ballsy. And then they said, and then he got him to the table, and they said, "Oh, you're just empowering him." And then he lost it. And then they blamed him. Then he brought it back in. They said it was a Photoshop, which means there's nothing you can do to win. Meaning, like he can do no right for the people that disagrees. And I think the problem is it's impossible to get 100% of approval rating. People like just as an example. You heard the comment that Trump said that Africa was a shithole, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was there and up in arms here. There are places in America that are shitholes, and there are areas in this area we know that are not the best. But here's the thing. Did you hear President Trump say it?
Yeah.
Did you hear it?
No, we never did.
No, you heard it from somebody else that said it, and one person out of 87. So we judged right away because CNN is anti-Trump, Fox is pro-Trump. And when I go to my hotel, it's CNN International. So, and then the media reports on that. And so the problem is that wherever you watch your news is where you get your opinions. But my philosophy is if you didn't hear it and you didn't see it, it didn't happen. Because if not, you're judging people. I mean, people say, JT's this, JT's that. Have you ever met him? No. My friend's sister's wife's cousin's best friend went and she didn't like him. So we are 100% swayed by people's negativity and only less than 5% swayed by its positivity. Tell someone I don't like JT Foxx and they won't show up to my events. He's this, he's that. Tell people best event ever. People are like, all right, I'll check it out one day. See the point?
Yeah.
So that's the society we live into. Negativity, you can't hold a negative and a positive thought at the same time. Most people are overwhelmed by their negativity, but fear is the poison to success.
How important is business involvement in our towns, in the regions, and in South Africa? That businesses must start to see the import as a solution in South Africa.
Of course, I mean, the solution is small business, and I don't care if it's big or small. I mean, because if you have businesses, you need to hire people, and the people that need to be hired are the people that's small business is what makes America the country it's in. And America is built on small business. South Africa needs to be built on small businesses, but I think South Africa has been built on a lot of excuses. And at least in the last 5 years since I've been here, everybody talks, but the rich get richer in this country. If you take a look at the richest people 5 years ago and now, they're making more money. Why? Because the rich know how to make money. People who didn't do things 5 years ago are still in the same position they are now. So small business is important. I think important for every town, every city, big or small. It's the backbone, and more small businesses are, the more incentive. if I was president, and I may run for the ANC as the first ever white candidate, I'll see my options in 2019. President Foxx is a good thing. At least I know.
Sounds good, though.
It does, sounds good. Yeah. So, I would say, you know what? If we have unemployment, hire 5 people in your organization, which labor is not that expensive in this country compared to others. Hire 5 people, and we'll give you a tax credit.
Yeah.
So a lot of companies would hire people and incentivize entrepreneurs, and that's the problem. We don't incentivize entrepreneurs; we penalize them.
Advice to the businessmen, businesswomen outside there that forms part of the Golden Triangle Chamber of Commerce. What advice would you give to them how to take on the future?
Well, first of all, don't worry about the future. Worry about today. Worry about what you need to do. I mean, a lot of people are worried about the future. Every day is a different day. You have to look in the future, but I think every single day you need to worry. To succeed, you need the right information, the right systems, you need the right strategy, and you need the right coaches. And you're only as good as the people, the networking, the people. But the most important thing I tell people, I think it's branding and relationships. It takes one person, one opportunity, and one deal to change your life and your business forever. That's why they need to go to chambers like yours or anywhere in South Africa or anywhere in the world, so they can meet people, because that's what a relationship is. I spend 70% of my time building and monetizing relationships, because that's what success is all about. That's what business is all about.
JT, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for visiting us in the Vaal Triangle, and good luck with all your plans, with all the new countries you're going to visit.
So we're in a triangle, is that what it is? I was told it was
Vaal
circle.
Triangle, Vaal Triangle,
That was a circle. It's very misleading. Am I going to the circle next? I've made the South African triangle.
There you go.
I will remember to come to the triangle when I become president.
The Vaal Triangle. The Golden Triangle.
We should end the interview with a triangle from now on.
And as I greet now in America, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, we do that too?
There we go.
But then technically in America, we just touched each other. There are some
not even that.
issues. Yeah,
Even
that could be
okay.
sexual harassment. I have to be very careful. That's what America has become. Don't touch anybody. Don't talk to anybody.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.